talked, even to a crowd, it always seemed as though he was talking just to you.
He taught us to look at the world through his eyes. He showed us God's grace in a field of flowers and his provision in the flight of a sparrow.
He had a way of looking into people and seeing beyond what was to what was possible. Everyone else only saw my recklessness, but he called me Peter, the Rock.
Sometimes he seemed the most ordinary of men, but then he would do something that would just amaze us. One time he spoke a word and a storm was stilled. And another time he took a small basket of food and fed thousands of people.
With him we learned to accept the amazing and expect the impossible. For he came to bind up the brokenhearted, proclaim freedom to the captive, and release for the prisoners. He cared deeply about each small life, its hopes, its fears, and its secret dreams. And when he entered our world in his Father's name, he did it by looking into one face, one heart, and one life at a time.
Children, who was not ashamed to cry, a man who stopped to listen while the world hurried by. He didn't shake a million hands or change a million. He simply changed the whole wide world, one life at a time. One life at a time. He changed one life at a time. One whose heart was hopeless, one whose eyes were blind, filling us with life and love of a different kind. He filled us with his miracles, one life at a
Jesus was always gracious to the humble, so they found it easy to draw near to him. And if they came to him in despair, they found hope. The frightened found peace, and the lonely found joy. The blind received sight, and the deaf heard, and the lame walked. Even sinners were cleansed. But children especially were drawn into his presence, for their simple, trusting hearts never failed to move the compassion of Jesus. His arms were always open to them. Look at these little ones, he told the crowd. Unless you can come like one of these, you shall have no part in my Father's kingdom.
He said, "Come unto me. Come unto me with childlike hearts, trusting and free.
As I watched him with the children, my eyes filled with tears, for I saw again the miracle that he had worked in my own heart. I had been so weary of the world, so soiled by sin, used by men and despised by other women. But then I met him, and in his eyes I found love and forgiveness and hope. And through his healing, I found within myself the trusting heart of a child and a place to begin again.